Hey, what's going on, man?
Yo.
What's
up? Glad we found some time getting some lunch here from Luke's Lobster, but we weren't going to get time to talk about bright lights before you had to go.
There was almost no time. Yeah, I got meetings. Then I got a wedding, and then I literally have to fly to Vegas for some little con artist convention of the magic variety in a little bit. So, yeah, thanks for coming by, man.
So, Saint, I wanted to talk about bright lights. We meant to film an episode for the longest time.
Yeah, we wanted to.
Man, I never got to hear your views on it because, I mean, dude, it's like pretty different than the game when, you first got into it. When you first got into it, it's like Dory battling Reinhardt's like warrior against brute swords versus clubs.
Damn brutes, them green ogre bastards.
Now there's like robots, guns. How do you feel about all of that?
Well, I mean, we're in a world of angels and demons and dragons, and that's already like high fantasy, right? But there was already guns. It was introduced in Crucible of War, right? Yeah. Even when Dash came out in Arcane, you already saw that there was this technology side. And I mean, don't get me wrong. My first gut reaction was, what the hell are mechs and robots and like high complex technology doing in a world of pure fantasy?
Oh, I'm just thinking back, like growing up, dude, I was like so into like Gundam and Mech Warrior. Dude, I was like, read all the books. I was playing like the game when it came out and like building your robots and battling with each other.
I mean, I had multiple Unicorn Gundams. I had the little Bandai, like Gundam Juniors and whatnot, where you got models. That was really awesome. But even before that, there's something called Robotech, which originated from Macross. I mean, we're talking like late 70s, like Dungeons and Dragons days, where Robotech was like 14 seasons and played in the US from like, I don't know, 78 to like 85.
Wow.
And I watched all of Robotech. I think I even have the Blu-rays and the DVDs of the original Robotech. I saw Macross. I saw every single OVA, which is like the Japanese movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a huge, like lengthy history and lore in multiple robot franchises. But, my first thing was like, robots are robots. That's in space. And whatnot. Is there a world where you can blend everything together?
Yeah,
right?
Like robots versus dragons.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think about that?
My gut reaction is just like, they don't fit. Is there a world where you can mix all of them? I mean, my first instinct is no, but I gave it more thought. I mean, okay, can you tell a very compelling story with giant robots?
Oh, definitely.
Like?
I feel like most of sci-fi with robots, it's like the little guys versus corporations. You're talking about like governments, going to war with each other, like whether or not it's good to go to war. Child soldiers.
Okay.
There's like a lot of like things.
Child soldiers.
Like love.
Dude, love, child soldiers, governments going to war. You just mentioned the whole plot line of Neon Genesis Evangelion, right?
Well.
Because there are a bunch of kids, like there's Rei Ayanami, there's Shinji Ikari, there's Asuka Langley, right? Yeah. Asuka Langley Soryu. She was my favorite, by the way.
Oh, no.
But the redhead. The redhead.
Yeah.
But I mean, my God, that whole series was about supergiant robots on one hand, but then the deeper meaning, it was about governments. Like there was this weird government-related organization named CLA that was trying to bring about like third impact and, extinguish humanity. There was a little bit of devil worshipping. It's almost like they were, foreshadowing what's going on in the world in 2023. Asset management companies and taking over the world and devil worshipping.
Yeah, but I think these stories also get told in like the fantasy setting as well. But man, I wish in Flesh and Blood with bright lights, like one of my favorite types of like action scenes in these like robot shows is when you have like two big robots fighting out and one guy takes out like a huge like blaster and then just like blows up like a piece of armor. Man, like wouldn't it be cool to blow up armor in Flesh and Blood?
It would be cool if Dash could blow. Anyways, let's go to this package. Just so happens that
What is this?
we have something we need to spoil to the community.
Engine.
An Annihilator engine.
Let's talk about Annihilator Engine. This card, 6 resources
For 6.
for 6.
At first glance, that's not a good resource conversion.
Kind of crappy.
Right?
But we know a little bit about this Evo mechanic.
Yep.
Teklo Vossen, who's kind of like the...
Reklo Vossen, known by some as Reklo Vossen.
He's like kind of like the Iron Man of metrics. He's like an arms dealer, I think, of sorts.
He kind of looks like a Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, building up, you know, you build up like your exoskeleton suit, you upgrade your armor, you assemble like all the pieces, and then you get a big payoff. So with 2, then it becomes 3 for 6. That's not as bad. Then
with 1, if it hits a hero, it destroys all cards defending this.
Yeah, so if you
so not just the cards, because normally you defend with the card, it gets burned anyway, right?
Yeah.
But it could kill some armor that has multiple counters on it, right?
Yeah, and then if you have 2, it costs 3 less. Then
3 for 6 just becomes normal, right?
Yeah, it's like a little worse.
It's a little, a little.
But you know, we're
we're
getting there. And then you get overpower with 3.
I don't even remember what that mechanic
Overpower says you can only block it with 1 action card. So it's kind of like dominate,
but it's kind of like a ghetto dominate, because you could still use a defense reaction on top of your action card,
but I think
right?
you're just like incentivizing the other person to block with the armor, and then you get ready with like a pummel or something in the background.
Okay.
And then at 4, it gets +3.
3 for 9. And then we're in gangster territory, right?
Plus, we don't even know like what the Evos can do. Like maybe there's one that's like a missile launcher or something.
Yep.
That like buffs your attack. Dude, we have no idea.
I mean, we were talking about this before. Just the other day, you were like, you know what? Flesh and Blood is super competitive. We need to attract the Timmies. And I feel that this card definitely has extreme Timmy appeal, right?
Dude, when I first started playing, like I'm pretty competitive nowadays in Flesh and Blood.
Oh, you don't say.
But when I first started playing Magic, dude, I was the guy who was like into building like elf decks, and I just like playing like elves and like goblins.
Elves, goblins, yeah. I ramped up an elf deck into like craw worms and forces of nature, right?
Yeah, dude. And like Thorn Elemental when it first came out, I was like, woo, that's like super cool. And I'm getting like kind of the same vibes. It's like, oh, I have like a sub game kind of. I'm like trying to build up my armor.
And not just that. I mean, you know what? UPF, it's getting a lot of flack, but UPF, if it was like 2-on-2, like team play, and I had a
like
mech
team battle.
Yeah, exactly. If you and I both built mech decks, and we were teching up to get more synergies,
or better, like you're like Tony Stark, and then I'll be like Bravo, and I'm like tanking the hits.
Okay.
And then be blocking, and then you're like trying to assemble.
Yeah,
like,
defense, offense. Yeah, hurry up! Get your Evos up there, right?
Yeah, and then you get like pull out your little rocket launcher on the Annihilator and then blast them.
Yes, Annihilate, Dash, and Dromai.
Yeah,
something like that. That'd be so cool. Look into it, LSS. I just have to assume they already got it.
Yeah, they got it. But dude, I am so excited for this card and to see like what the rest of the set is. I can't wait for Bright Lights to come out next week. Pre-release events.
Yeah, go to your local game store. And I just have to say, I am still rather skeptical, and I have to maintain a healthy skepticism about my feel about Bright Lights as a set and how it intertwines into the lore of Wraith. However, after thinking about this a little more deeply, I looked back into the whole sci-fi fantasy genre that I've followed for presumably almost 40 years now. And I gotta say, there is a world where it all works, where there's angels, demons, religion, technology, androids, aliens, dragons. And in the world of Ridley Scott, he made this series called Raised by Wolves on HBO.
Yeah.
They've got like 2 or 3 seasons. Amazing show. It's about these androids that are millions of years in the future trying to bring up and resuscitate humanity. And there's warring religions in a post-apocalyptic galaxy. They breed out some alien dragon that eats like the tree of life, and it becomes like some weird thunder dragon. And I mean, these are androids, with humans between like religious warring cults. So there's kind of like that light versus dark thing going on. There's technology because they're using spaceships to travel. And then there's a lightning dragon. So I love that IP, Raised by Wolves, because in the same universe as like Aliens or Alien from Ridley
Yeah,
Scott.
yeah.
And Prometheus and that whole series. It's all, one universe, and he made it work. It's a really compelling IP. Now it is up to Legend Story Studios to, reach and attain that bar in how they weave together the storytelling in the world of Wraith.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if we know if these things are happening even in the same timeline. Maybe we're gonna get some connection. Like, how does Dash relate to all the Arya cast and like the War of the Monarch?
Like what they did with The Witcher, right?
Yeah,
the different timelines.
Yeah, maybe the portal, the demon portal, like goes to the future. I don't know.
Who knows?
But
right?
I'm excited for this set. I'm excited to build up my Evo suit.
Yep.
And
I'm excited to see what else comes in, the game of Flesh and Blood. And again, I think both of us are enthusiastic and very thankful for the ability to feature yet another spoiler card for all of you.
Yeah, good luck to everybody who's going to pre-release and anybody who, is going to open some boxes of bright lights. Hopefully you get some cool cards.
Yep. Thanks for tuning in, Fab Fam. We out. We're going? Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Please enjoy your lunch, Ashton.
I will.
And thanks for your support, man.
Of course.
Hope the team likes the lobster rolls.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Cool.
I'll let you know.
Keep up the great work.
Thanks.